everyone, and welcome back to the Diary of an Endodontist. And today we have a case that it looks like a very easy case. You'll probably say, well, Dani, an anterior teeth. Well, I must say, I've got some tricky cases that I call in my lecture tricky incisors. So this is one of them. And the tricky part is the access cavity. When you receive a tooth where the pulp chamber is calcified, or it looks like in the x-ray that the canal is very narrow, but in reality, when you access, you can't find that canal. So those are the cases that can be quite tricky for you to perforate that root. So you need to be careful how to access that tooth. So the first thing I'm going to say to you is measure from the incisor edge to the visible part of your canal, at least for you to have an idea. If you have a CBCT, then it's much better, of course, because it's more real in three-dimensional. You can see where the canal is, the most part that is calcified, and then the visible part. You can see in different views. You can pre-measure more accurately. So in this case, there is a faded line. It looks obvious to you, that line, but just be careful because the calcification inside can be less dense, and then the canal looks like the canal is there, but in reality that's all calcified. So let's try to find it. For you to find it, the first thing you need to have is the magnification. Either you have a very good pair of loupes, like probably higher than 3.5, or you go for full microscope, which is the ideal for if you are a specialist endodontist or a special interest, or if you do lots of endo. It's more comfortable, the posture is a lot better. You don't need to stress your neck with the heavy loupes, even if it's balanced. Sometimes it's quite heavy on the nose. So invest in the magnification if you can, because it will make a huge difference in cases like that looks very easy, but that you can be surprised when you go inside. When you access the cavity, try to do as conservative as possible. You don't want to destroy that tooth. You can see that I didn't use an anterior clamp. I used a premolar clamp and inverted. I quite like that. I inverted so my nurse can put the suction, and I don't have that part of the clamp that will interfere with my nurse's job or with my hand. So I quite like the premolar, small premolar clamp. Another thing that is important for you to have in your armamentary is either you invest on the Mons kit, where you have different sizes, or the LN bar, where you have different sizes as well. One or the other, they are amazing. In this case, it looks like it's curved, but it's not. It's just when I took the x-ray, it's just tilted a bit, so it's absolutely straight. But be careful, try to confirm with x-rays if you are unsure. When I accessed that tooth, I could see a circle where the canal could be, but no file, no micro openers, nothing was going inside, no catch at all. So it felt like glass. You can see the canal, but it feels like glass. So in that scenario, don't force it. Just try to go a millimeter by millimeter, otherwise you end up perforating it. So be very careful. You can also use the ultrasonic size 4 ultrasonic that is a bit longer, the diamond coating drill that is good as well. But pay attention when I was going inside. That's my file now, because although I could see, I was going in the lingual canal, and the buccal canal was a bit more buccal, but the lingual canal, if you remember the CBCT, it joins at the very end in the largest part of the canal. So they become one canal. And as I was going a little bit off, I decided not to pursue that and go in the largest canal first. That's what I was trying to do anyway, but I ended up going in the lingual more than the buccal. The buccal was slightly towards the front, and that is because this tooth was vertically tilted. So, and you need to consider that when you are drilling as well, not only mesial-distal, but you need to consider buccal lingual, buccal palatal, because otherwise the bar can play a trick and you end up again deviating that canal. So as soon as I noticed that I was going in the wrong one first. I immediately corrected that, and then I found the canal. And then eventually, when you enlarge that, the largest canal, eventually you will join both of them. So that's exactly what happened. And you can see here, so there was a slight deviation, but not as much, because I was already preparing both canals without knowing, just with the CBCT. If you don't have the CBCT, it's tricky, but I knew it because I could see on the CBCT. If you follow the pre-op only, then it's a bit more difficult. And pay attention that the access cavity, I had to enlarge slightly more than I wanted to because I couldn't visualize due to the inclination of the tooth. But after that, obturation as usual, bioceramic and gutta perca, of course, disinfection and all of that. But the message I wanted to pass to you is that don't think that those canals can be easy. In fact, when I say a tooth is an easy case, that's when I'm in trouble and I find it more difficult clinically. So I hope you have enjoyed that. I hope you can take that all on board and that you start doing those cases a little bit easier now for you when you access that. Thank you very much.